Greetings from Florida. Here we're working on a 68 to 82 Corvette C3. This is the passenger side. We're changing the regulator and the motor. If you're going to do this, you should probably just do both pieces together. You've got the lock indicator knob. You're going to unscrew that. You got a screw at the top there. And a screw right there where the plate is over the pull handle. You got a screw back there. You got a screw on the other side. Then you have 3 thick bolts that Phillips that hold the handle on. Let's take that out. Once you do that, it should be pretty easy to get the door panel off. Now, if you've got some 7/16 bolts and you've got that plate that goes around, which is either going to be screws or small bolts. Clip's at double speed, by the way. Let's remove that plate. If you're just changing the motor, and I recommend you change the regulator and the motor, but if you're just changing the motor, you can take out the 3 7/16 bolts that hold the motor to the regulator, put in the new regulator with the plate that goes behind it, and bolt that back in. But we're going to change the whole thing. So you need to bring the glass to a point where you can get access to the 7/16 nuts that hold the track onto the glass. Suction cup, $3, Harbor Freight. And pull the track away from the glass. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask right here on YouTube. I'll be glad to answer them for you. If you'd like us to do this for you, if you're in Tampa Bay or Minnesota, give us a call, Power Up Auto. Oh, I put a rivet in there. I put this in the other day, but it was defective, so I had to order another one. And I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just reaching over to grab the switch to move it up and down a little bit. Drilling out that rivet. Uh, 7/16 bolts. Actually, you know what? Those might have been 10mm bolts. Now, note these 2 7/16 bolts. Right there, there's a small track right there that goes up or down to adjust the tilt of the glass. Keep that in mind. So if you find the glass tilting to one side or the other too much, that's going to allow you to get that. So there is a hole in the middle of it. By the way, before you take this out, move it halfway down if you can. You need to put a nut and bolt through that hole. Otherwise, it kind of explodes on you. Sorry if I'm blocking some of this, but it's a working farm. So then, once you've got a nut and bolt through that middle hole, you're going to take off the 3 7/16 bolts that hold the motor to the regulator. Because you need the plate that's on the back of the motor. So we're putting that back on, just like that. I'll show you as much as I can. All right. Taking out the 10mm bolts that it came with. These are aftermarket parts, obviously. Quality's okay. Let's put that back in. Did not show you the plate. It's on the other side of the regulator. You'll see it. You'll understand how it works. Oh, also notice on that, there's another bracket that gets screwed onto the motor, and I did not show you that. You'll see on your old motor, there's two or three small bolts that hold a bracket on there. You'll need to take that bracket out, put it on the new motor. So we're going to get the first 2 10mm bolts going. Let's tighten those down. I think that one was stripped a little bit. Now, because of where these are made, China, they don't line up perfectly. Nothing I can do about that. So I ended up drilling out the screw hole. There's usually a screw hole in it on the bottom, but it did not line up. So I drilled it out and put in a rivet. You can put in a bolt, a 1/4 inch nut and bolt. Next step, I'm getting the long track that goes to the glass into the 2 rollers on the regulator. And there is a third, not a roller, but it's a rectangular white clip, in this case on the right hand side, that you will not see. You'll see it when you do the job, but you won't see it in this video. It's tucked way in there. You've got to get the 2 rollers onto the track, and then that track into that long track into that white rectangular plastic piece that holds it in place. Next, I think I'm putting on the 7/16 bolts that go on the small bracket, which I think I just did, yep. And that's adjustable. As the glass travels to the left or the right, you can slide that bracket up or down to get it to straighten out a bit. One more fun fact. Normally with most cars, you can plug in the motor and adjust it with the switch. On this, you can't. If the motor's not touching the metal, it's not grounded and it won't work. So you have to have it completely installed. And I do apologize that I'm blocking a lot of this video, but there's nothing I can do about that. There's just no room to work. And I gotta get the job done, so if you can use it, great. I didn't see any other C3 videos online, but if you see one, feel free to go ahead and put it in the comments. I don't have a problem with that. All right, right there is where that white rectangular clip is that you're going to slide the long metal track into. First you'll slide it into the two rollers, and then you're going to slide it into this guide, I guess you'd call it. Next step is to get the track onto the two bolts that are on the glass. And we're going to put a nut in there. I had to move it up a little bit, and a nut right there. It's going well so far. Now, there's the third one right down there. It just doesn't fit. It's just not the right tolerance. So I probably drilled it out. Yep, drilled it out, put in a rivet. You can put in a nut and bolt if you want to. I use rivets if you have a big rivet gun, but you can put in a 1/4 inch nut and bolt and that'll work fine. By the way, got these from Eckler's. Pretty good company for Corvette parts. And that's my large rivet gun. Okay, so there was a little cut jump there because I wanted to test it out and make sure the glass was lining up at the top. So what you're going to do, close the door. Be careful when you close the door. Put the glass all the way up. Make sure it's lining up on the outside of it. Your rubber might be a little bit worn down from the years of use. Best you can get. Best you can get. Not sure why, but I went back to the car to get something. Oh, I know what the problem was here. I'm not sure I even showed you. The two stabilizers at the top of the door, they're metal pieces that push against the glass to line it up with the cockpit of the car. And there it is right there. I'm taking off that stabilizer and I think I'm pushing it forward. I was going to try to use another one that I had, a Mustang stabilizer that I had, but it wasn't exactly the same size. So I stayed with these, just pushed them forward a little bit to make sure they lined up with the door. Also, make sure that the felt is on these. That's what goes against the glass. You don't want to just put a metal piece against the glass. It'll scratch it up. So if you need to, get some felt and a little bit of glue and just glue a piece of felt onto the stabilizer. There's two of them at the top there. You'll see it. Went back to get something else. Hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, that's where I tried the Mustang stabilizer, which did not work. So I did finally go back to the Corvette piece. Back to the car again. If you find this video helpful, go ahead and like the video. That'll help other people such as yourself find it. If you'd like us to do this for you and you're in Tampa Bay or Manatee and Sarasota, give us a call, Power Up Auto. Reaching over to go ahead and put the glass up. Okay, now we're going to put it all back together, which should be a lot easier than when you took it apart. And you should be able to watch the rest of this solo. I don't think I'll need to explain anything else to you. There's nothing else I can think of. Yeah, good luck with it. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask right here on YouTube. I'll be glad to answer it. And thanks for watching. Have a great week.